The following recording is a speaker meeting that took place in Sydney, Australia in March of 2021. This YouTube channel is not affiliated in any way with Sexaholics Anonymous. For more information, you can visit sa.org.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Bill from Wentworthville in Sydney, gratefully recovering sexaholic. And pardon me for reading this, but if I just try to talk off the top of my head, you'll fall asleep in 5 minutes. You might fall asleep anyway. But, here we go. So I've headed this little presentation. Why am I 10 years sober? I'm 10 years sober most of all because I want to be. I want recovery more than anything else. That has been my prime motivator for 10 years, and although I may be wrong, I cannot imagine anyone getting sober or remaining sober if they do not have a similar passion. I came into SA on March 23rd, 2011, with a mixture of relief, fear, and hope. Most of all, hope. 2 nights earlier, having not acted out for 2 weeks and feeling really good about myself, full of confidence that my 2 weeks would become 3 weeks, then a month, then 6. In other words, that this time I would never give in to temptation again. I distinctly heard a voice say to me, "You know you will fail again." And finally, the penny dropped. I cannot do this on my own. To clarify, I finally accepted that I could not keep kidding myself that some higher power, in my case the Christian God, would cure me simply because I truly wanted to stop. I had to step out and step up. Because in truth, I had felt that same confidence that I mentioned earlier, literally 1,000 times during my 50 plus years of addiction. I had made the same promise over and over and over. I am never going to give in to temptation again. And of course, I had failed 1,000 times. I was a very, very slow learner. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I listened to that voice, which I believe to have been God speaking directly to me. Whether it was or whether I imagined it does not matter. What mattered is that, as I said, I finally stopped listening to my own bullshit that I could do this without any earthly assistance. And I want to stress that my God does not have to be everyone's God. One of the things I truly love about this program and about all 12-step programs is that you can have zero belief in God. You need only believe to come to believe that there is a power beyond you, a force that you can trust 100%, a power that will give you a life of freedom from slavery, a life where you can hold up your head, look yourself in the mirror, and tick off another day of having won the battle over lust. Simple, isn't it? No, of course it's not that bloody simple. Did I want to walk into that room in March 2011 and admit I was beaten, that I couldn't stop looking at pornography and masturbating? Did I want to admit that I was a pathetic human being, that I had never been a man, that I lusted after every attractive woman that passed me on the street, that my head was full of fantasy? No, I did not. Did I want to admit that I had emotionally abused my wife for years by putting her down, by wanting her to be younger, slimmer, prettier, sexier, to wear the kind of clothes I wanted her to wear, to think the way I thought, to go where I wanted to go, do the things I wanted to do, to be a female clone of me? For heaven's sake. If that's not a definition of insanity, I don't know what is. And incidentally, I wanted my wife to be younger, slimmer, prettier, sexier 6 months after we were married. 6 months. It disgusts me to look back on that. It breaks my heart to reflect on what a dreadful husband I was. But understand this too. I was not just cruel, I was not just stupid, I was not just insane, I was very, very sick because of my sexaholism. Because sexaholism, like every addiction, is a disease, and I did not ask for it. We did not ask for it. So does that excuse my appalling behaviour? Can I say, well, it wasn't my fault? In a word, of course, I cannot. I can say that before coming into SA, there were mitigating circumstances because of my addiction. But I can very clearly remember countless times making choices that were destructive to both myself and to those around me, but most especially to my wife. In other words, I was not forced to give in to temptation. My addiction made it more difficult to resist, but almost always I did not fight. I did not put on boxing gloves until I came into SA. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I walked into that room in March 2011 and made a commitment. Because I went back the next week and the week after and the week after and almost every week for the past 520 weeks. I went when I was enthusiastic. I went when I wasn't. I went when I was tired. I went when I felt moody. I went when I didn't want to listen to the same stories I had heard over and over again, not least my own horrible and sometimes. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I have never taken off those boxing gloves. I have been pummeled, I have been bruised, I have been bloodied. I have cried out to God, I cannot do this anymore. At which point I surrender, but instead of surrendering to lust, I surrender to God. And I win. Correction, we win. But does it always feel like a victory? No, it does not. I feel so damned wrung out sometimes. I want to lie down and die so I never have to go through that pain again. But I don't die, and then I'm glad I'm alive and grateful that I survived. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I'm sharing my story with you tonight when I'd rather be relaxing with family or friends, because I spend time with sponsees when I feel drained, because I pick up the phone and listen when it's the last thing I want to do late at night, because I make phone calls when I'd rather be watching paint dry or grass grow. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I'm immensely grateful, because I cannot thank God enough. Thank the founders of AA and SA. Thank the program, the fellowship, my sponsors, my sponsees. Thank my sexaholic brothers and sisters who serve, who organise and conduct conferences and workshops. Gratitude is the fuel in my tank. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I frequently do what I don't want to do. I get up every morning and drive half an hour and swim 20 laps. Do I feel like it? No. But always I feel better afterwards. The reward far outweighs the effort. I go to Mass almost every day. Do I feel like it? Mostly no. But again, I'm always rewarded. I walk most days, hot or cold, and often in the rain, and I always feel better afterwards. I make those phone calls I referred to earlier. I take those calls when I just want to switch off from SA. Do these things make me someone special? Absolutely not. But they give me the confidence, they raise my self-esteem, and they help to keep me sober. Why am I 10 years sober? Because for the first time in my life, I am not an ego out of control. Because I have stopped demanding my own way. Because I have stopped giving in to self-pity. Because I have stopped envying others, stopped objectifying women, stopped coveting what is not mine, stopped feeding resentment, stopped, for the most part, judging, stopped wanting affirmation. The list goes on and on. Why am I 10 years sober? Because of you. Because you are in the ring with me. Because we are fighting this together. Because you are here when you don't want to be here. Because you are laying your souls bare. Because you are listening when you don't feel like it. Sharing when you don't feel like it. Because you are listening to your sponsor. Because you are sponsoring others and learning from them. Because you are serving others. Why am I 10 years sober? Because I have no choice. Because I owe it to God, to my wife, to myself, and to each of you, and to the still suffering sexaholic inside and outside of these rooms, and to all the victims of my half a century of lust. So what do I want more than 10 years of sobriety? Very simple. I want 10 years and 1 day. And tomorrow I will want 10 years and 2 days. And how will I get it? The same as always. I will keep coming back because the program works if I work it. And as Ron C., rest his soul, used to say at the end of every meeting, and it works if you work the steps.
Hey.
Thanks for caring.